How's it going?
I mean, I'm fine. Yourself?
Yeah, great. Really good
I've
day.
enjoyed your videos today.
I've even got another one to upload as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got to look at the get a full rundown of that bloody London system, but yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And the bloodbath is even better.
It's great. I think the thing is that there's room in the chess video marketplace for some different stuff. You know, there's a lot of very dry content producers out there, and I'm not up to their level in terms of diligence or research or whatever, but I can maybe compete with them on sense of humor. Hey Hugh, are you going to join us?
I think one of the big gaps in content in terms of chess on YouTube is sort of breaking down stuff into really basic small sets of points. So kind of like in this opening, you've got three main ideas. You want to trade off your light squared bishop, you want to do this, you want to do that. Because anybody who does an opening video, it's an hour long, and there's 900 different lines they walk you through, and then I can't remember any of it the next day. So
yeah, there's too much about lines and theory, and maybe not quite enough about what is the idea
right
behind a particular opening. Like, why do we play c5 in the Sicilian?
Right.
What's the whole point of it?
And it is interesting because I think actually the guys who are sort of really, really high, titled players who do this YouTube content, they actually don't like doing the whole ideas thing because they're like, well, there's no real such thing. And it's probably because they do have lines or 30 deep memorized. It's like, well, we're not going to do that. So we kind of need to understand what the basic ideas are behind the lines, whereas they don't view it that way.
Yeah, but look, bottom line is I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm enjoying the content, Ben.
So Ben, Joseph, let me know. Raise your hand if you want to join live, or you can lurk as well. Feel free to lurk. Okay, both joining. Excellent. And chat.
I also hate the London system with the passion of 1,000 burning suns.
I'm only just learning, Nick. Come on, give us a break.
It's not. I think the system itself is that terrible. It's just it leads, at my level at least, at sort of relatively low level, to the same game over and over and over again.
Yeah. I think at my level, I think it's just a case of it's interesting to play because I'm trying to develop ideas for openings, and it's just like another one of those openings. So you often hear of your standard Italian, Spanish, and you keep on talking of the London system, and you go, well, all right. So what really is it? And then you can understand why it's the boring game or the slow game, but until you get there, you just don't know.
Yeah, I think if you want that, I'd look into the Collie. It's sort of a setup system as well, but it looks really solid, but it's kind of quite attacking as well. I think it's a better system than London.
What system is that?
The Collie, COLLE.
Okay. The Collie system is similar to the London, but you don't throw the bishop out. The bishop actually stays behind the pyramid at the start, but it does have some really good attacking ideas. I think there may be one in this from the Collie, which if you're interested, we could do that on a forthcoming session when we go back to the Chernev thing. Because I thought that going through the master games move by move is really, really useful.
Well, I was that impressed. I went out and got the book.
Yeah. Oh, the book is fantastic. Seriously, you could do a 12-hour train journey with, just one of these and one of these, and you'll be, you won't need to look up, and loads of coffees. Anyway, that's not what we're doing today. What we're going to do today is I've got a nice warm-up exercise where I've got 12 puzzles, 12 positions, right? And we're going to look at like a bit of brilliance or blunder as a warm-up. And they've all got a common theme, which is responding to attacks. And that's something that no one really seems to be talking about. It's like one of the most basic tactical things. So I'll share my screen in a minute. Yeah, Chad, join, man. Yeah, the more the merrier. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, completely breaks my system now because I've got 12 puzzles. So that just doesn't. That's irrational. Hey, buddy. So look, we'll go through them all together, and then just before we start, how many ways can you guys chuck out for responding to attacks, going from the more basic? Because I figure there's at least 12 different valid approaches that can be useful. So what can we think of?
Counterattack,
yeah.
well, I'm not sure that's the most basic, but
No. I'll put it in the chat. Counter attack. Yeah.
So the most basic ones are move and block.
Yeah. Evade. 3.
Retreat.
Block. Okay. Yeah. So evade, retreat, same thing. Yeah.
Ignore.
Say again.
Ignore.
Ignore. Yeah, absolutely.
Check.
Yeah. So that's a counter check. Yeah, because your opponent cannot capture your piece if he's in check, depending on what you check with. Obviously, if you can capture the checking piece. Sorry, say again.
Capture.
Capture the attacker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else can you do to the attacker that would prevent it from being able to capture?
Pin.
oh, pin it. Yeah.
Yeah, pin the attacker. Yeah. So, I mean, that's 7. Yeah.
There's also defend. Defend your attack piece.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Resign.
Resign is in there, and at the other end of the spectrum, checkmate your opponent. So it's
Yeah.
becomes
And in the same vein, offer a draw.
So
I see you've trapped my queen. Yeah, would you like a draw?
okay, so let's go ahead and check out these few little amusements that I've prepared for you. For your edification. Okay, well, we're not going to go around the room. We'll just dive in. Okay, so we've got 12 puzzles, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our newfound knowledge of the point of this is that I want us all to get into our heads that when there's an attack, you nearly always have multiple options, and you nearly always have more options than you think you have. That's the point. Okay, so this one's not too bad. So white has just played rook down to here. Now, I will tell you, at this point in the game, it's a dead draw, okay? The engine says 0-0, absolute draw, because as you can see, materials bang equal. And what should black do here? Which I didn't do, even with 1 minute 39. So my opponent's got 55 seconds on, I've got 1 minute 39. And I blow the game. In fact, the next 3 moves are all blunders. So if you're black, what should you do? What do you
Push the
notice?
G pawn to protect the rook at F3.
So G4.
Yeah.
Or move the rook too.
You can't, if you move the rook and the
Yeah,
other rook,
gets
the white
taken.
rook takes, you can't recapture with the black rook and your other rook because you're pinned.
My guess, by the way, which I probably would never play in a game, is that you probably, my guess would be that you take A5 with your B pawn and create a passer.
Right. Okay. Yep. That could be good. And then if this pawn advances down, you've got this. I mean,
because your
You
rooks
drop the
defend
rook.
each other at the moment.
yeah.
Why
Well-
couldn't you drop the F3 rook back to like F5 or F6?
Yeah, I think that would also work. That would be okay. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do any of those things.
You can also move your king across to support the rook on F7. So
Yeah,
if
but
they
the
do
F3
take,
Or
F3
G6.
rook is kind of hanging though, because the F7 pawn, well, it wouldn't be hanging at that point. You're right. It wouldn't be
G6.
pinned.
So like King G6, yeah?
G6.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually what I played in the game, and it's a blunder.
I say, because all you do is push the rook up, wouldn't you?
Why is it a blunder? It's actually slightly tricky one, this. But what I should have done, according to the engine, is take the rook.
Sorry, Ben. Why was that a blunder? Just out of interest.
I'm trying to remember. No, I think.
Is it because if white takes your rook on the 7th rank, if you recapture, then their king recaptures your rook.
Which is actually exactly what happened.
So you're down a rook.
Well, you could just recapture with the other rook, couldn't you?
Well, I should have done. I should have recaptured with that rook, yeah, and that would have been
Oh.
okay. And that would have actually been back to drawing. But this is what I did, right? I saw, oh, look, free stuff, right? And I completely missed the fact that this was, okay, that this was also, because, you know, I figured, well, my rook's defending that rook, so it's not under attack, right? And this was actually a missed win by white. Can you find a better move for white than capturing my rook? So I should have traded, okay, but white here shouldn't. Obviously the king can't take there because it'd be put in check, right? Better move for white.
Take the b6 pawn.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, a takes b6.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
No, the best move actually for white here is to take c7 and create a passer that way. Because if rook takes, king takes. Yeah, this is now a passed pawn, and it's defended by another pawn, and that would also be winning for white. So the point is, sometimes the right thing is simply to trade. So what we're saying is we need to approach this in a very rational and calm manner and say what is the right thing to do. And very often we don't make our decisions based on rationality. We make them based on some kind of emotion, some kind of fuzzy stuff, right? Completely the wrong way. Anyway, that's our first example. On this one, so here, the king has just moved out of the potential discovery. Okay. Hang on. I'm not showing the right move. Okay. So, oh yeah. Okay. Ignore. Okay. Back up a little bit. So this is, I don't know what this is. I've lost my thread completely on this one. Ah, because it's changed its title. Okay. Here we go. So this, I think, was a game I played today. White attacks my rook. Okay. Best move for black. Black wins in 2 moves now. Now I know you've seen the sequence, but
Fork on the king and bishop.
yeah. Fork, king, and bishop, but it's more than a fork. So this is, in one sense, it's a counter attack with check. Okay. So it's like, I see your attack on my rook. I'm going to raise the stakes with a check that you can't avoid. But what's more than that,
right,
is that I'm adding a second attacker to the bishop. Okay. Now, what can white do here? Can white get out of this pickle? The bishop's defended once, twice. Okay. So right now the bishop's okay, but the king's in check. What can white do?
Has to move.
Yeah. So your king has to move. By the way, you know, we've said that one of the options is to block an attack. You can't block a knight attack, of course, because knights.
What about moving to e4 there? Because then you're also attacking the knight.
Or the
You
knight
don't
has
want to
do
go
a-
on the F file.
If the knight moves, then there's a discovered attack from the bishop.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
So in
Yeah.
the game, king goes here, and I
Mm-hmm.
take, and the knight still can't take that because there's a discovery there, and the game is now over, and white resigns. Yeah, so that is a counter check with a fork or a double attack. Okay, here, this one. This is game 5. Bishop comes down to here. Okay, so what's the attack going on now? It's not this. What does this move do?
Discovered attack on your knight.
Yeah. So discovery on the knight by the rook. Okay. So in this game, I play bishop to e6. Is that brilliant or blunder?
Blunder.
Blunder, because even if he takes your knight, you take your bishop, he'll come in and take your bishop afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. If he does that, I do this, then he gets the knight anyway. If he does this, I can recapture and lose the knight anyway. Completely ridiculous thing. So he takes, I take, and for some reason he decides not to take the free knight, and I attack his queen. But there you go. That's what happens. Bizarre. But it just goes to show, you know, what we need to do is kind of find this kind of Vulcan level of detachment and to read the board as it is, not as our throbbing heart tells us it should be. Okay, next up. This is actually well, we've had 3 moves of the game, okay? So who can tell me this opening?
Cheeky Russo, isn't it?
Cheeky Russo, Nike. The
This is my baby, Ben.
Yeah, the Russo Caliente. Okay, now, so white's under attack here. What move should white play?
D4, is it?
D3, I think.
This
one?
No, D.
D4 is playable. That's a kind of a counterattack. It's not the best move though.
I think D3 is engine recommendation.
Yeah, D3 is the engine line, correct.
So I'd say one thing about that is that actually it sort of depends. Sometimes the engine says D4, and my practical experience is that D4 it is the best response. And if you let the engine run for long enough, it will say D4.
Oh right, okay, interesting. Yeah, so I think both are fine. I mean, in the opposite situation, if it's the Vienna Gambit and this bishop is back at home, then it's D5 from black. Yeah, but anyway, so white plays knight C3. Brilliant or blunder?
Blunder.
That was quick.
Yeah, I know these lines. I won't say anything.
Okay, why is it a blunder? Who can say?
It's going to end up forking the knight and the bishop once he takes on E4.
Oh no, my stuff. Exactly. There you go. And guys, I mean, look, this is like move 6 of the game, and I'm already up a piece. Outrageous. Okay.
Can I say there's a critical line here if you do end up in this situation, which is if your opponent plays a pretty tricky move, which is they move their knight that's currently on F3 to capture your pawn on E5, you absolutely must take that knight first.
This one?
Yeah, because what's going to happen next is that their queen's going to come out with a check to there, and your knight has to be within distance to block it.
Right.
So do not take the bishop or other knight first.
That's interesting because I think I might have just done that in my last blitz game. Anyway.
Can we play that? Can we play that out and just have a quick look? So if the queen, so if you take with the pawn or something.
Yeah. then their knight's going to take that pawn, and you're in all sorts of pain.
Because if you take here,
You're
you
losing your rook.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So what you can do here, I think, is this one, isn't it? You take the queen.
He's got the other knight he could take with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, so you've got to be careful. But I like this. I like these lines. We like to live this way. Okay, but me against Birdloft 8. All right, now. So black plays bishop g4. Okay, what do you see, and what should white? How should white respond?
There's obviously the check with the queen coming across.
Yeah, so the threat is this, yeah?
Yeah.
Or possibly even worse, that wins the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So attackers and defenders, 2 attackers, solo defender, and the king can only be the last to defend, so it's not even a defender. So what would you do as white here?
Resign.
Correct, almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what shouldn't white do? What shouldn't white do that white did in the game? I'll give you a choice of 2. Defend the attacked piece or capture the attacker. It's one of those.
Shouldn't defend the attacked piece, I'm going to say. No?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I just sack the exchange and take the bishop.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what he should have done. That is what he should have done. Sack the exchange and live to fight another day, right?
I didn't. Roll the
What do you
queen
think white
for-
did? What do you think white did?
Bring the queen to d3.
And why is that bad?
Because you can still take it with your bishop, putting the queen in, and then that would actually be. Let me check that.
Oh, no, there's another.
I'll show you. I'll show you. Queen d3. Bishop takes.
Yeah.
Check. Now here, the best move is for the king to run away. In fact, the king can't run away because he's got no squares.
Yeah.
Right? So the queen is actually forced to capture here. And then what does black play?
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Horrible. Horrible.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's another scalp. Okay. Next up. Right. So this is here. So black here. So I think material is what? Equal here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Material is technically equal, but white is completely winning, right? Black attacks the white rook here. There's only one good move. So we're looking for a great move here. Thinking about all our different options to an attack. My rook is being attacked. What should I do? In fact, it's not only my rook that's being attacked, is it? And then that one would come with an attack on the h2 pawn too, potentially. And he could also even come in here with a check. Maybe force the bishop off. Don't know. There's only one good move on the board for white.
Is it rook to f2? Just defend the pawn so he doesn't create a passer?
Rook to f2 is not the best move, no.
It would be rook to g7.
This one, yeah. So
Yeah.
with a fork on these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, that isn't the engine move. I mean, these are probably still winning moves, you know, I think with either of those, I think white's probably still winning, but the engine says it's a great move if there's one that's a margin better than all the rest. The best move here is rook g4.
Rook to G4. Okay.
So we counterattack the knight. We allow the knight to take the pawn, but if the knight takes the pawn, now, what do we play?
Take the other pawn. Take
Yeah,
black's
we
pawn.
take that, attacking the knight and also attacking here, and thereby attacking, you know. So the knight does that, we do that. He comes up there with check, I just trade off. And now the rook defends here. And
Got a pass pawn there anyway.
Yeah.
it doesn't go on for too much longer. Okay, so about halfway through the examples,
Yeah.
then we'll
I'm
take
sorry,
on.
Ben, just go back to that last one.
Yeah.
Just go back a few moves. Yeah, go back to, one more. What if the knight had gone to, instead of, what's that square? G6 and defended his pawn. No, back one. So move it, yeah. So the knight goes to G6 and defends his pawn. The knights will be defended by the black pawns.
Mm-hmm. Second attacker.
Oh, of course, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it now.
And you
Yeah,
still got
okay.
yeah.
Because he's in a horrible position. And this, guys, is a reason why you want to avoid doubled pawns and isolated pawns. And look at this, isolated, doubled and isolated, isolated, doubled, you know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm terrible at endgames, but it looks like just looking at it, looks like of the C, D, and E pawns, one of them is going to become a passer
yeah,
for white, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't do something about it.
yeah. And the point is that this pawn can only be defended by pieces. Excuse me, pieces. So can these, and so can that. Right? The king is probably going to be stuck forever babysitting these three. Right? So he'll have to come like here or here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns that can only be defended by pieces. And that means using these. So these final pieces are going to be occupied defending all the pawns. That's the point. Okay. Next up, because we're coming up to about half an hour. All righty. Now, oh yeah, sorry, right. Ignore what I just said. Okay, so white attacks bishop, bishop retreats. Okay, boom, fork. One of the worst kinds of attacks. Okay, what do you do here as black?
Check with the knight.
Yeah. And then what's the continuation?
You have another check with the black bishop because white takes the knight.
Yeah. Takes.
Thinking, yeah.
The best move for white is actually G takes F3.
Yeah.
And then bishop comes here with check. And the game's going to finish very, very quickly from this point. Maybe it's not. Okay, that's when it finishes. But yeah. So I mean, this is one of those things where a lot of us might go, "Oh no, I'm stupid. I'm going to hit the resign button straight away." But in actual fact, it's completely winning for black. You just have to find the resource, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a desperado, okay, which is another way of responding to an attack. Desperado means I'm going to capture something, I'm going to give up material, but I'm going to take one of these two buggers out with me, on my way out. Yeah. So that it not only, obviously the queen can't take because bishop looks at there. Okay. So after pawn takes, we've opened up the king, right, for the cost of a knight for a pawn, and then we also save our bishop. So happy days. There's probably a better finish than this as well. Anyway, so moving on. Okay, so we have castles. Right, white now plays knight into f5. Okay, so what's the threat?
Checkmate.
Checkmate. In one.
It's worse than attack. It's checkmate, Jim. Right? Black's best move. Black's only move here, really.
Take it with the queen.
No.
Push the G pawn.
There's,
No, it's the knight. Is it the knight to H5?
pushing the G pawn can fall to check here. King goes in the corner. Checkmate.
It's knight H5, right?
It's almost. You've got the right idea, but knight H5 just drops the knight, yeah?
Well, no, because then you.
Oh, is it
no,
knight
that's a good
to
point, yeah.
is it knight to E8,
Correct, yeah.
covering the pawn?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you want to go from here to here, and there's knights always have like two ways of moving, right? If as long as one of them isn't off the board. So yeah, that's exactly the right idea. Defending G7, okay? Because right now it's attacked twice, defended once. With knight here, then we've got two defenders, and the king is now the final defender, and therefore the king is a defender, right? We did this a few weeks ago. Now, if white here was a complete dumbass, what would he play? He'd play this. And then white would go to himself. Why hasn't the little box come up saying white wins, white is victorious, checkmate? Oh no, my queen, right? And then goes on to lose. So there you go. So
That is one of the two worst. One of the two worst feelings in chess. That one of them is when the checkmate, and the other is when your opponent offers a draw, you don't take it and you lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that is unforgivable, isn't it? I mean, literally all these games, by the way, I've played in the last 2 days, right?
What are you playing? 5-minute games, Ben?
Yeah, I've been playing 5-minute blitz. Yeah, trying to get up to like 1300. Okay, a couple more, and then we'll get on with the game. Okay. Simple one here. Black captures a pawn with a fork. Oh no. Do we hit the resign button as white?
You pull the queen back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we doing with this move?
Take both pieces.
Yeah. So but first we're blocking the check, right? We're also X-ray defending the knight, right? So we're actually protecting. We've solved both attacks with one move. Cool. And this one we're going to play from the start because
Jazzy Jizz.
Jazzy Jizz, yes, indeed, and lives up to his name. So, what's this opening?
King's Gambit declined.
Yeah, King's Gambit declined. Queen's Knight
Queen's Knight.
variation. We have Knight out to here. Bishop pins now. I need to remember actually what this. Hang on. I need to try and move my. I can't move my notes. Okay, so pawn's attacked, defended. Knight is attacked. Now white plays d4. Brilliant or blunder?
Blunder. Now he's absolute pin on the king or on the knight.
So he's managed to turn wine into water, really, here, hasn't he? Because here the knight is not pinned, right? Here, he's not only pinned his own knight, but he's also created a nice possibility for black just to capture and win the knight, pin it and win it. And that is all white's own work. He didn't need any help at all from black here. There you go. Brilliant. Okay, final couple. Now these two, I think I played today. Oh no, we've seen this one. We've seen this one.
Yeah.
This is the attack on the rook. Okay, there we
Yeah,
go. For some reason that one turned up twice. All right, that's fine. So final one. Oh, this was painful. Sorry, let me. Just review this. Okay. Aha. Yes. Now, funnily enough, we can even go through this game. Trash Can Tim, rated 1355. I move my king here. So basically, king here, and then he retreats his knight. Brilliant or blunder? I mean, I'm attacking his knight, right? But it's defended.
And
It's brilliant, right?
It's blunder, isn't it? Because he just
Yeah.
hung his other knight.
can fork.
No, because if you take that knight, you're about to get forked, king and queen.
And lo and behold, I did. That was the point of the knight move.
Oh,
Oh, that's clever.
Lose my queen. And by the way, let's just run through this game from the start. Russo gambit. Knight out. Takes. He takes here. Fork.
Go on.
In comes the knight. If only I'd had somebody to advise me. I grab the bishop.
Hello, Queen.
Okay. But in fact, in this instance, I get away with it because, you know, he doesn't have a knight that can capture there. So his knight went this way instead of this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm totally winning. I'm beating a 1350. And he just keeps checking me until here. And at this point, I'm going, wow, this really is, you know, look at my king. I can just dance all over the board. You know, I've got an extra piece. I'm going to win, 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 win. And you've just lost another piece. Oh no, my queen. So,
by the way, I think in that situation, you can actually take, if you go back to the original fork, when he moves his knight to G5, I think you're fine there, taking his. Just work this out. His knight, as in the fork, because when the check comes,
yeah, or this. But isn't this one of Peter? Isn't this a line that you sent me once with a game that I reviewed?
it's slightly different. I'd have to think about this. I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what you're doing. Yeah. Problem. Yeah. I'd have to think about this one. It is different.
I'll review it tomorrow. But anyway, let's get on and do a game. Like we'll try and do it in 30 minutes. How do you fancy a 1500 called Fundy? You guys want to take on a 1500?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
never played this one, so I thought that this could be quite fun.
He's tricky.
Is he?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
He
Well,
won Pog Champs 4, so he's obviously a bit of a badass.
Anyway, we'll go challenge mode, random. Okay. Well, it's going to be E4. Anyone up for a Vienna?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking the other day, you know, you set up that that group on chess.com, Ben, for this club. I
Yeah.
was thinking if we ever play each other, we're all just going to play the Vienna. We're going to know exactly how to beat it.
I actually don't play the Vienna, and I'm terrible against it. So if you want free elo, you should probably just challenge me.
I do play the Vienna and I'm terrible against it. I've played like 2,000 Vienna games and I still get trounced. Okay, so should we go for this new attack rather than the boring old copycat?
Yeah.
No, it's King's Gambit declined.
Yeah.
Well, actually accepted.
Accepted. Now the move is D4, and then this is now the Steinitz Gambit.
Oh dear.
Oh man. We've got this line.
King E2.
So should we have brought the knight out to F3 first?
No.
This is actually a line, and it's King E2 as the main line, unbelievably.
Yeah.
It is King E2. Now he wants to bring his bishop out. And I do believe we let him. Do we play knight f3 now and let him pin? Or do we do this? Oh, I can't even remember. But this is one of these crazy, like, basically your king ends up coming out here.
What's that? What's
I
that
think
line where this is different? But what's the line where like the bishop is already out and the king, the queen checks the king and the king like shuffles to f1?
That's King's Gambit accepted. That's the Bishop's
Yeah.
Gambit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 I play that all the time.
Now,
Yeah.
So
if we do this and the bishop comes out,
We can take his, he'll be hanging the pawn on f4.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Bishop
I
comes
think-
out. Oh, queen. Okay, queen's now defending that.
h3.
Yeah.
H3 hits the queen. So the situation is, we're thinking about, you know, what we've been talking about, responding to attacks. The knight isn't really attacked. It's defended by pawn and then king, but it is pinned. H3, we could end up with queen in here, which might be unpleasant. Oh. How about knight here? Which both
Right.
attacks
Threatens
c7 and defends this.
I like that.
I do.
Or h3 first. I've just slightly.
I kind of like the knight after you pointed that out.
Or queen up to d2, or not?
Queen up to
I'd-
d2, that would also do it. But here we
take-
have free stuff, right? Already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a pawn and a rook, yeah?
oh, yeah, I would actually just come back and take that pawn.
But here we get pawn.
Develop the bishop.
Yeah, just because then I think we're probably going to end up trapping this queen, but I can't quite see how.
He
Yeah.
takes our knight, then we got to move the. Well, if we take it with the knight, yeah.
Okay, if we take it with a knight, then the squares we're covering.
But yeah, no, we can just take the rook. That's probably the right move. Is to just take the, it's just to fork and take the rook, I think.
Yeah, because actually, if we'd still, all right, the queen is actually out of squares. If
So
we
the
do
reality
that,
is if you do that
But
and
we
then
also
push
need
the
to-
pawn,
Hmm?
if you do that and then, oh no, because it'll drop down. She'll
The
drop
queen can move back to d7 though, can't it?
Yeah. So I think we're agreeing on this.
Yeah.
I think we have to take the rook, eh?
Yeah. No threat there.
Well, now our knight's trapped now, stuck in that little corner, isn't he?
Yeah, but we're +4 materials, so
I think
I'd attack the queen right now.
well, I think the point of that knight move,
Oh, I
right,
see what
is
he's
that we
doing.
can't
this.
play h3.
we can't play h3 because knight in here
No, then we could force a queen trade by moving our queen over to e1.
to e1.
Or we could do that now and then push h3. e1 will guard.
Don't forget, he's also got his other knight that. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that
our
queen's
knight
guarding
is
that
pinned to the
pawn.
king.
Yep. Bring the dark squared bishop out to protect the pawn on d4. No, we can't do that because it just takes the bishop.
We need to defend that d4 pawn, don't we?
c3. No, yeah, we could do c3. Prevents him from coming in either direction with that c6 knight.
What about king d3? Is that just ridiculous?
Yeah, because the knight will come down to f2 and
The
give you a
family
royal
fork.
fork. Yeah, family fork.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough.
c3.
C3 then?
feel like it's the best
Yeah.
option.
Right now, I think he's looking at this.
Hmm.
And currently we can't go there.
I think he's just gonna attack. Well, he could just attack the knight, but the knight's not doing anything.
You know what? This is nuts, but I think about king d3.
What about queen d3? That prevents the bishop going to a6 and attacks the knight.
What? Oh, I see.
Yeah,
And gets
But then we get the knight to. Yeah, yeah.
I like the queen. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, the queen's.
Do it.
Well, that felt wrong. That felt really wrong.
I'm not really liking this new line, Ben.
No, we're gonna get made. We're gonna get. I actually think.
Would it make sense to go after the queen now?
Well, we still can't do this because we've still got that.
Yeah.
3 pieces.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't go there. I'm inclined to go on the offensive somehow for some reason. And
Yeah.
Just what about pushing the G pawn to G3?
Yeah, I was thinking
Let
that.
them take it. You take it back. Yes, you could drop down, pick it up, but you then got an open rook.
that, if he takes and we take back, again, knight takes G3, 3-way fork.
Yeah.
And it hangs the queen. Well, we could take back with the queen then. Oh no, our knight would be in the way.
This is my worry,
Yeah.
is this discovery, because here he's got knight moves there with check, wins the queen. So I think the queen or the king has to move. The king only has 2 squares.
But they're not brilliant because the knight could come straight in onto F2 and give a royal fork again with the same
But
fork. So,
here we're okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
C2.
What about queen here and attack this knight? Does that solve our problems?
I feel like we're just gonna get forked somewhere again. Because what's going to happen is you can take with one knight first, get rid of the defender on the pawn on c3, and then take with the other knight, and then he's forked you, right? So I think one sequence would be if you do move the queen there, yeah, you take with one knight first, remove the defender, essentially sacking it, and then take.
But then we take this knight.
Oh, they're both checks, right?
Oh, takes.
Well, you take with the other knight first.
No, then we've got.
Right.
Well, you've
Let's
still
try it.
got.
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, now you've got problems because you're going to get checked with a discovered attack on the queen.
Ooh, ow. Ooh.
Oh, dear.
Can't even do that and force a trade.
so why not bring the queen into D5
D5, right between the knights, right?
between the knights? At least you've got one of them.
How about sacking the queen? Trading. Oh no, the knight covers that square. D5.
Here.
I would.
E5
Hmm?
and trade queens and then trade queens and then capture
No,
back with the.
Ow. We can't go here.
No, he'll take with the
D5 is
knight.
covered by the knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Have to go with this one.
Oh, look at that. He is tricky, this guy. Isn't he?
I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Can't go here.
What about sacking that C1 bishop to the pawn on F4?
Yeah, I've thought about that.
Queen takes and then you push the G pawn.
I was actually
Yeah.
even thinking about sacking it on E.
No, because then he can bring his queen down to D2. If he's on F4, he can swing his queen down to G2 And I think that would be checkmate.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to sack anything. I'm inclined to sack that knight somehow. Because it will force him to take with the pawn. Then we haven't got to check.
So he doesn't have to take it either,
No.
because no threat.
Maybe just something like this.
Yeah, try and get the rooks involved.
Yeah,
Push the B pawn to try to drive away his knight on C6. Take 2 turns. I don't know if that's going to accomplish much.
I would just try and unpin our knight at the moment.
Well, we can't. Okay, king here doesn't work because we've got a fork. Okay, so that's not playable.
So why not bring the
Why not
bishop?
D1 then bishop F2?
Is that really silly?
Why not king D1 then bishop F2?
King D1 with the same fork.
Why not E1?
King E1.
You can't move his queen to check.
We get out of the check. The knight then can't check us either from there.
And it releases that bishop on the light square bishop as well.
Might be the best move, actually.
Yeah, now that we've got the knight on F3, we can go back to E1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming there.
But at least
Then we can eliminate it if it comes there.
I would go G3.
We've now also released this bishop if we need. How about this?
Can I say I would go G3. If he takes with the pawn, we take with the H pawn, and then now we've got our rook guarding that file.
We go here, takes, knight takes with
Let's
the
just
fork.
take with his queen.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't that make more sense?
yeah. There, takes, queen takes, check.
That's
horrible.
bad.
And queen here, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a disgusting game, isn't it?
Oh, well, actually, our knight is unpinned now, right? So we can just play H3. And then if the bishop comes in, we just take it with the knight.
H3.
He just moves his queen down to G3.
Okay, so that hits the queen. What if the queen comes in here?
We're in the same situation.
Then it's threatening check.
you'd have to come up one at least. Or,
I didn't think we'd get a game this
Tricky.
gross. Yeah.
Told you it was tricky.
What about like light squared bishop to B5? He puts 2 attackers on his knight there on C6.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it? Sorry.
Oh, it hangs the pawn down there. Never mind.
Why don't we just put it on F2? Why don't we put it on F2, and then if we at any point move our knight, there's a discovered attack on his queen.
E2.
On E2.
It's E2, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it still hangs the pawn.
I mean, we're hanging a lot more than a pawn, right?
yeah, I was going to
Yes,
say then move the rook
What
across,
is-
The rook.
Yeah, rook to G1. Is that what we're
and
thinking?
then
Rook to
you
G1
left,
first. Rook G1 now.
Then push G3.
Or H3. Oh no, I still don't like H3.
Isn't his knight a big annoyance, and his knight on E4? Couldn't you attack it with the bishop?
But then we drop the G2.
you
Still
could bring the knight back to D2 and take on the knight. But then we'd need to be aware of the bishop coming down to H.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm not hugely worried about that G2 pawn because we can just move the rook to G1 if the queen takes it and it's defended by our knight.
Well, you can play Rook G1 now.
Yeah, I think that's best.
Let's do that. I
And
see
now
your
you-
mind.
Now you can move the. Yeah, true.
Get the bishop in front of the king, and then it prevents the. Anyway.
Yes, move.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can move the bishop now.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
You're going to come down to b3. Oh no, because the queen's covering.
Knight here with a discovery on the queen.
What if we,
Eliminate this bishop.
what if
We'll
we
just take
take,
it with the pawn money.
here's a thought, what if we take his pawn on b6 with our knight? If he takes back, we slide the queen up to a8 and we're forking the knight and the king.
This
Yep.
takes.
Oh, no, we can't. He wouldn't be forking it because he'd be defending the knight. But it would have been attacking his king.
Oh yeah, pawn defends knight, correct. Yeah, good spot. I'm inclined to move this guy with a discovery on the queen.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks really natural.
If you move it, this might be a crazy move. If you move it to g5, it then blocks the bishop coming in with a check. So if the bishop takes it, he loses his
It
queen.
doesn't block the queen
Queen
taking.
can just take.
Yeah, the queen.
Oh yeah.
takes.
Right, we're gonna.
What about, I was gonna say, what about d2 targeting his knight, but that's better. Jeez.
What?
Ben's just sacking everything now.
Well, just take his queen.
You
Well,
take
plus
the queen.
queen
You
check.
could have
It's
taken
our
the queen.
turn.
Take the queen.
No. You can take with a knight
could-
also, right?
Well,
I'll take it with the knight, actually.
Our queen's also under attack, guys. So we're in a
Okay.
Tarantino ending now.
What? Why do we?
We have a check, right?
Yeah, say what if we
Yes.
check? What about checking from f7?
What about
He
this?
takes back with the, he takes with the knight.
Because he'll take
Oh,
with the
yeah.
other
you got that
knight.
knight.
Oh yeah. Ah!
If we check him on f7, he takes with his bishop, we can take his bishop with our queen.
What about this?
Yep,
Yeah.
he takes with his bishop, we take his bishop with the queen.
And then his queen escapes. We're +6 right now. Or do we just trade queens? We need, if we can't come up with a line that wins material, then we should trade queens, right?
We've got to channel that rationality that we were talking about.
Yes.
Yes.
Feel the logic flow through you.
We also need to be aware of once you've taken the queen and you've got that pawn takes it, that knight's got a fork coming up as well.
We
I
can
think.
take the pawn after, because he'll take our knight, or he'll take our queen, we take that pawn.
Yeah, be our move.
I think the knight to f7 is a good shout because it's
Yeah.
you're winning the bishop or the queen.
And then we can
Oh, no,
come
'cause he
back
can
with
just move
queen to
his king.
c7.
Okay. Sold.
Just to move his king.
Of course it didn't.
Huh?
Take
Take everything.
Yeah.
I think we gotta take his queen.
Oh, what about knight to c7 there? And
Then we just lose our queen. Well,
We take his queen.
yeah,
I'm worried that we're going to lose this knight now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. That's what. Yeah. Yeah.
Takes.
we could go down to g5 with that, but then we lose the bishop because the bishop's attacked by that pawn on f5.
Man.
We need to take his queen before we get mated.
Yeah,
Put
Yeah.
the knight back.
Okay, if we take takes, how do we save the knight?
bring
Well,
it back
this
out
knight.
to
Both knights. Everything's under attack. Phone Tarantino, tell him we've got his,
Yeah.
for his next film ending.
what if we just let him do the move against our queen first and just take our knight to like d6 to just swipe a pawn or something?
No, we're +6 and in deeper trouble. We take the trades even if we lose the knight.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually got both knights under attack.
It doesn't matter. You can only
You
take
can
one.
lose one. Yeah.
Really?
I would.
We've got a free pawn.
That's also attacking the bishop.
I would take that pawn with our knight, and then if he takes it with the king, we've got to check first so we can save the other knight with the bishop.
Right there, what you just marked, Ben, I was looking at that. Take that pawn on d6 with that knight. It double attacks that pawn on f7.
And don't
If
forget, we've got,
he tries to take our bishop, we take his knight.
but we've also got C.
There, he takes our bishop, we take his knight. Bishop takes.
Yeah.
We're down a piece.
One,
Oh,
no, yeah. If we play that check that you were mentioning with the knight,
So what if we just defend the knight with the bishop? Move the bishop to h5. Oh yeah, he can do that.
but my point is that if you take on d6, then the follow-up move can be dark squared bishop to f4 with a check, and then we can maneuver some of our pieces out. But I haven't calculated it all the way through. But it then lets our knight come out.
But he could take it with the knight instead of the king. He takes with his knight. Now he's also we can't take the pawn on f5.
Got a feeling this desperado might be the best way. If he takes our knight, we take his bishop out.
Well, yeah, why can't we just play knight to c7 right now?
Targeting the
With an
rook.
attack on his rook.
Then we lose both knights for a rook. Is it worth it?
Again, we're still +6.
We go here, rook goes here.
Definitely worth it.
We've still got both knights under attack.
And
Oh,
take
then
the
we-
bishop.
hang on, this is a fork.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we're +6.
Done it. Done it. Did it.
Yeah, take
Oh, we
the
lost the
rook.
bishop. Okay. But now we get.
No, the rook.
Take the rook. Take the rook.
Dang. He's trapped.
No.
Oh no, we can go
That
to
rook's
h
trapped.
And it's hang on.
h8.
Oh,
It's
no.
not pretty.
This reveals attack on this. Or develop the bishop and castle.
Castle, right?
We're beyond that.
Oh no, we've moved our king. We've moved.
Yeah.
Our king.
A couple of times.
Yeah, a couple of times. Okay, how about this for a desperado? Attack with a fork. Knight has
Oh
to.
yeah. Yeah, if you do that, then we can take the pawn on f4, targeting the knight.
With
Yeah.
a bishop, yeah.
Yeah.
He's back again. It's a good outpost. That
Should we try to like
Um,
pin him or something?
Why don't we? What? Yeah. We could try and kick the knight with b4.
But he could just come in closer with that. We can go to b3 or c4. Is
One other big point I'd point out is that like the king and both of our heavy pieces at the moment are all on green squares, which means at some point we are going to get forked if we're not careful.
Yeah, I just really want to play that. Ooh.
B2 is hanging.
He's trying to checkmate us here.
what if we just push b2?
Now his knight's actually trapped. His knight can't move.
Great.
Can you move the rook?
Now go pawn.
Well, hang on.
Hmm?
Bishops? No.
We need one rook on the back rank, and his knight's trapped because he can't go there, or
So-
there.
We just need to activate one of our rooks.
why not?
Just move rook b1.
We
Force
need to
him
be
to move away.
careful of that.
Yeah, we're gonna get
One.
yeah, we're gonna get
There you go.
Yeah. Damn.
Damn it.
You're right, Peter.
yeah.
Hey, we're still winning.
Take the
Hang on. Just
Plus
calm
one.
down here.
We're
You're
plus
up one.
Take the
take the
knight.
pawn.
Take the
No,
knight. Let him have the bishop, and we've got a rook versus bishop endgame.
can he can't go anywhere with that knight anyway.
That.
We
I'm,
take-
I'm,
we
I'm
take-
going to bet he's going to
Bishop,
force us
we win a
again.
pawn.
Knight is trapped.
Yeah, but don't. Yeah,
Knight is
Okay,
still
up to you
you're
guys.
Yeah.
right.
if I was going to do anything, I would check with the rook first.
But then we're not attacking the knight anymore.
Okay.
Why don't we just take the pawn?
I would, I'd take the pawn.
Yeah.
Because he's going to attack our rook.
Take the pawn.
I think he's in desperado moves now.
No,
Yeah.
take his knight. Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This is winning.
Should we check it?
Yeah. Who said this is winning? Who
I did.
who uttered the curse?
Yeah, pawn on
We're
A2
going
is
to
hanging.
stalemate 100%.
Oh, look, this game is going to win itself. Now, bishop here is defended and covers both pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that. This pawn can't move. These pawns are in trouble. This bishop can do one.
Get that rook onto a green square.
Like here.
Yeah, just anywhere that the bishop can't ever take it.
How about C1 to cut the king off?
Yeah.
And then we
Gobble up those pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah, bishop down to the 8th rank. No. Why don't we?
No, maybe
He can't take the bishop.
no.
bishop B8.
This stuff is all solid. We don't need to move our bishop. Bishop here, he pushes.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
true.
Oh, but
I
then we
say-
have rook here with a.
Yeah.
Why not just rook to 7th? and
No,
start
no,
figuring out-
no,
No, you can't go there.
That's the rook taken.
Bam, 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 bam.
What about C7? Just try to clear out his pawns on the right side so we can get a pass pawn there,
Yeah.
or on the left side. I mean,
Maybe
Good
king
pawn.
up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Take
Yeah.
the
We're good.
pawn, yeah.
Yeah.
Desperado.
Yep. Hmm.
Ooh.
Here, he's got this. We take. I think we're okay.
then he takes the pawn.
He takes the pawn, but
That's fine. We can rook and king checkmate. Not a problem.
What if we get up behind it and just
I'd just exchange the pawns. We're winning.
So
push the
this.
pawn and exchange now?
We're +6.
yeah.
Yeah, all we need is the rook at the end.
Two.
Okay, now move that rook.
Okay, so this is called not treading on the cracks in the pavement, right?
Yeah.
Push the pawn.
We can do whatever we want. King
Yeah,
here.
we should start looking at pushing the pawn, the D pawn.
Yeah, well,
Deep pawns.
I'm inclined to move my king into this. I don't know why. Okay.
Support a D pawn
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
pawn up.
Oh yeah. Now.
Easy
Bring
now.
bring your king up and gobble the other pawn.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Oh, just watch out for the.
Okay, just bring that
Down.
rook down all the way, then push our pawn. If he takes with the bishop, we'll take his pawn.
Yeah.
Push out. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna get a pass either way, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this is Operation Don't Lose. Don't
Yes.
stalemate. Push.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. What I would do here to avoid stalemate is sack the
Pin
pawn.
the pin his
Yes.
bishop. Yeah.
I would sack the rook for that bishop.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Now we can easily get a queen.
Stalemate.
Push it.
Push it real good.
Okay, hang on, before we promote, I would honestly recommend sacking the bishop to the king because we are 10 times more likely to stalemate with a bishop on the board than with just queen.
Challenge accepted.
All right, here we go.
Okay, everybody knows how to do this, right?
Yeah.
Bring the king over.
And what's the pattern we're looking for?
There are different ways people will have different.
First of all, this
I
one.
like to bring the king into like the third square from the corner.
Wait, talk this through. I'm not sure of this.
So the point is that the queen is guarding the adjacent row. Yeah. So all we need to do is get our king in opposition with black's king on our turn, and then queen onto the back rank. It works exactly the same with the rook. And then because our king is guarding all of the forward squares, and that's it.
Or if they're not in exact opposition, you could just bring it down next to the king and it's checkmate.
Yeah. So
Like
now
right here.
we push down, right? And the king can't come back because that's mate, or that's mate. And then we have two checkmates. This is mate, or this is. So we'll go here.
Move the bishop.
Oh dear.
Oh, Fundy, you lived up to your name.
Fundy.
The
started off
Steinitz line.
strong.
I don't like it yet.
I hate it. It's absolute madness. And
I
I
think
play
he
some
was
really
winning.
aggressive lines, and that is just not. That's too far even for me.
I think he was winning there in the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't know. I think the engine might say that we were okay.
What does the engine know?
I know it's because it can defend perfectly, whereas we can't.
Oh,
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 that's
wow.
we blundered, mate. Probably somewhere.
yeah.
No, we didn't. Okay, that's fine.
That was probably the move on the night that we.
Oh, we
put
had a
next to the
brilliant
king.
team.
I'm a bit surprised. Though.
Fundy got 6.6, which makes sense.
It was that brilliant move.
Okay, guys, what was our brilliant move?
Yeah, let's see.
Nothing I've recommended. I guess.
It was a pawn move.
You never
Not
know.
moving the bishop.
Oh, it was that.
Oh, really?
Ah,
What was the position just before that? I can't remember.
the two knights and he took the top one.
Okay.
Oh, it says he took the wrong knight.
I don't think it would matter. It'd be a fork either
No.
way.
Yeah.
Why is that so brilliant?
Just because we are.
Brilliant. It took 8 of you to figure that out.
I think it's probably because
It removes that knight from that outpost, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To free up
I think
everything.
it
else.
went back there afterwards, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did.
I think the point is you'll probably end up losing much more material with any other move.
Well, we were trapped anyway, so we got 2 pawns for our trouble. Well, we got 1 extra pawn. I don't know. But wow. So what happened here? So we've gone winning. Oh, we've got a few blunders though.
We had a miss win there.
Ouch.
And that's because
Oh, that was
he's letting the
good.
bishop come in.
You know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to save it, and then we can
Review it next week.
maybe not next week, but I don't know if I'll have recovered by then. Where's the save thing? I'll just add to look.
Yeah, you can add to library. It works.
Oh,
as well.
because hang on, this is the
Yeah, it's already saved because you did the
because I
analysis.
did analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just check.
What a bizarre game.
Really bizarre game. But you know what? I would like to. There we go. It was there with Fundy doing 666 and 66 moves.
Oh,
Truly diabolical.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, wrong in every way. But yeah, I mean, I think it merits an analysis, but I think right now I need a stiff drink. Hugh, of course, it's a little early in the morning for you, mate.
Yeah, yeah, a bit early for me.
Oh, but that was fun. So, do you think? Just before we end, though, guys, thoughts on the. It seems to me that a lot of chess, or a lot of the steps to improvement, are around a similar thing, which is expanding your range of possibilities. I mean, that's like the first step, isn't it? You know, we've got an advert on on TV. It's been going for months and months for the Royal Marines Commandos, right? And it says that all a commando does is change what's possible or rethink what they think is possible, something like that. But I think that's a huge thing, because when you watch grandmasters play, it's not that they find moves that we didn't see, but before they do that, they have to consider moves that we don't see. And I think what's really interesting about working together in a group like this as well is that we get to throw in stuff, and I love it in particular when I hear Peter chime in and say, "This might be completely insane, but," and then proceeds to say something completely insane, but every now and again turns out to be brilliant. And there you go. But yeah, I really do. It's not that any of you guys or any of us are incapable of evaluating what's a good move and what isn't, right? We can calculate our way through, but I think it's just part of it is we're just blinkered with what's possible. And I think those exercises can help a bit, particularly when there's an attack, because beginners will just go, "Oh, I'm going to capture that because it's in front of me," or "I'm going to run away because I'm under attack." Yeah,
it's kind of patience as well, isn't it? And what you were saying earlier about that kind of almost trying to remove some of the emotion from it and just thinking about it, and then considering, right, okay, looking around the whole board and considering all the moves possible. Often I'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting a bit tired or whatever, I'll just take that." And then
one thing I'll say as well, just because I played lots and lots of really sharp positions like that, when you end up on the defensive hugely, I actually think one of the most important things, practically, whatever the engine analysis is to create like some option for counterplay, which is why I didn't love at the start the rook fork with the check, because it put our knight so far offside. It may well have been the top move, but like it kind of put our knight all the way out at the edge of the board where we couldn't use it, and where you're defending like a really difficult position with lots of developed pieces. I've found that the times you can actually win those positions, even if you're really under the cosh, is actually having all of your pieces and creating some sort of counterplay.
There's something to say about that, but effectively your knight is always out of play when you make that fork, right? And
Yeah.
take the rook.
Yeah, agreed.
Most
And
of the
usually
time.
that's fine. It's just that when your king is, out in the open.
Under attack.
Yeah, that was a deeply uncomfortable game.
We
Absolutely.
persevered. Well, we persevered.
Yeah, we
There was
did.
many a time if I was playing it on my own, I would have resigned.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever beaten Fundy. Let's see.
Do people play against the computer a lot? I don't know. I've only played once or twice.
I'm just run through. I'm not playing the advanced bots, but I've run through a few else. I've got a nemesis in what's the 1400 bot? What's his name?
Antonio.
No, is it Matteo or
Matteo.
Matteo? I can't get past him at the moment.
See
I've
the
had
Argentinian?
draws. I've thought I've got it close, and next minute he just throws a move in, and I'm stuffed. and so I just can't.
The 1400s are David from Peru, Ali, and Matteo, Argentina.
Matteo.
Yeah.
I'm currently stuck at Jonas 1700.
Yeah. We have our nemesis.
I'm up on the 1600s, but I tend to play them until I feel like I can comfortably win against them, so I don't move on.
Yeah.
But I've beaten all the 1600s, but Pablo is probably the toughest one for me right now.
Pablo.
I find it really interesting because I've sort of very quickly formed the impression that I really don't like playing the computer, and maybe I just haven't given it enough of a go. Because the way I feel it works is it basically makes the 2 or 3 best possible moves in a row, then deliberately plays one terrible move, and then it feels really weird to play something that has this great plan and deliberately screws it up every once in a while. And, and
Just
that
to
is
quote
sort of how people.
Peter, just to quote Ben on this, it's a dumbass move.
Sorry, I apologize.
Humans do the same, but you do get this feeling that the computer can go full Magnus for like 8 moves in a row, and then just go like that every now and again. It's just like programmed just to mouse slip.
Right. I think the other thing though is that humans sometimes have bad plans, and you have to. That's a sort of totally different thing, I think, to what the computer does, which is to have good plans and then, periodically do.
And then a random shit move. Yeah.
I feel like the better I play, the better the engine plays.
Right.
I'll have a game where I'm like 88% and the engine's 96. But then the next game I'm 72 and the engine's only 78.
Well, the adaptive bots are programmed to do that.
And I'm just on the regular advanced bots, the regular 1600 range. They all seem to just jump around based on how well you play, how strong they'll play.
Yeah.
I practice a lot on light chess with the blitz. So and I don't care about the rating. It works for me quite well.
Yeah. So guys, the plan is this week that we're going to do another session on Sunday. That is a few hours earlier. So I appreciate, Hugh, it might be like ridiculous o'clock for you.
Yeah, it's probably 3 o'clock in the morning, so I don't think I'll be able to make it. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. But it's
Get your priorities right, Hugh. Come on.
Yeah. No, I'll
can,
just be sitting there sleeping.
yeah, you can watch it. You can watch it with your morning cuppa. That's fine. When you get up, there's no rush.
And
But
don't forget to put the comments in.
Yeah, but we've got for example, we've got some people like in the US who actually have jobs and can't break out and do it.
I just do it at work.
Charge us anyway.
Don't put that one on the web. I don't need any evidence.
Does that make you a professional chess player?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Yeah, cool stuff. All right, guys. So might see some of you Sunday. If you want to see, maybe 2 sessions a week in this band, I'm pretty much happy to do it. Maybe not every week, but we'll see. But yeah, if you want to see that, then come along on Sunday and show your support.
And is there a chess.com or chess camp club now? Have I joined and not remembered? Is that?
There is a chess boot camp club. Okay. Yeah, it's called the CBCL Secret Team.
Yeah. That's why I didn't know about it as a secret.
Or maybe there isn't.
Yeah, there you go.
You might click the link and say 404 not found.
Rule number 1 of the secret team.
Yeah, never talk about secret team. All right, guys, great session today. Thanks everyone for your input.
Thank you, Ben.
It's been
Cheers.
cheers.
Thanks, guys.
See you
Take
guys.
care.
Bye bye.